This will be episode 154 for you guys today. Once my co-host Rob Sarasulo joins us, we'll go ahead and get today's episode started. What's up, Rob?
Hello.
I know you'll be excited to talk about the Knicks today.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing some great things, I will have to say. I wish it was my Miami Heat doing it, but it's all good. It's all good.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited, man. It's finally, having some success there is just, man, I dealt with some shit with that damn team my whole life, so.
Yeah.
It is what it is, though. We're here now. We fucking here.
Since it'll just be me and you, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. This man, Neil, always
Get out
talking
of
record.
here. Get out of here.
All right. Hey, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree from Onthehop podcast. Today, this will be episode 154 for you guys. Today, I'm joined by my co-host, Rob Sarasulo. So we're going to be talking about a lot of NBA in this episode. So let's go ahead and start off with our second round NBA playoff predictions. So we'll start off with the Eastern Conference first. Rob, starting off with the number 1 seeded Celtics taking on the number 4 seeded Cavs. Who do you have winning this series?
I have the Celtics winning. I mean, they're, like we talked about several times by now, I mean, they're just the team to beat in the East. So I don't think the Cavs are ready for them. They struggled to put away a Magic team that, it was their first trip to the playoffs in how long?
A long time. Yeah.
It's been a long time. So, that's an easy one for me. I mean, the Cavs might win one game, maybe two. Because, I mean, they have Donovan Mitchell. He's very good, obviously. They have Evan Mobley. They have, what's his name? What's the center's name? I can't remember his name.
Jared Allen.
Yeah. He's pretty good. He plays good defense. Garland, but he was trash in Game 7. I know that. But yeah, I mean, they need to help him. I mean, they were playing good defense and getting rebounds, but Donovan Mitchell needs some scoring help. And against a team with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Chris Stapps, Drew Holiday, that's a stacked lineup. So I think the Cavs will definitely take that for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the series is going. It could go to 6, leaning towards 5, but I'll go with 6. I like the Celtics winning in 6. I just think they're the more rested team between the two respective teams heading in the series because the Celtics packed up the Miami Heat by Game 5. Gentlemen swept them without Jimmy Butler, so that was basically a cakewalk in that series. And like you said, the Cavs went all the way to Game 7 with the Orlando Magic. I don't think they should have went to 7, but I think they're going to feel the aftermath of that with the Celtics being more rested. But the big question mark to me in this series is the Celtics possibly not having Porzingis for this series, his health. I don't know if he's going to be back in this series or not against this Cavs team that has Evan Mobley and Jared Allen as their bigs. But I think the Celtics would be fine because they went 21-4 during the regular season in games that they didn't, or 21-4 when they didn't have Porzingis in regular season games. So I think they'll be fine. But I like the Celtics having home court advantage in this series. I think that's going to help them, and I think this Cavs team can make it interesting for a few games. But the Celtics, like me and you said for a while, they're the best team in the East. Their lineup is tremendous, even with Porzingis not in the lineup. So they'll be just fine. I think they'll take care of business against the Cavs. So that brings us to your team, Rob, the second-seeded Knicks taking on the sixth-seeded Pacers. What is your answer? I know you have the Knicks, but how far do you think this series goes?
Uh, I mean, at first I was thinking like it was gonna be like at least a gentleman's sweep. I don't know how to turn these damn notifications off. Uh, I figured it would be a gentleman's sweep, honestly, before the series. But the way that they played us yesterday, I mean, they played us pretty well. I mean, I was worried that game. I mean, we didn't exactly have our best game. We weren't getting offensive rebounds at first like we can. We started to in the second half, but I mean, I think it'll go to 6. I think we'll win in 6. They might take one from home and one at their home court, or both at their home court, whatever. They have a deep bench right now, so that helps them. But
Yeah,
and we really don't. I mean, people are getting hurt. Like we're without Randall, we're without Bogdanovich, we're for next game at least we're without Mitchell Robinson again. So I'm not as worried about center because we have a couple of options that could play there. But people say like I know they all like the starters play like 45 minutes a game. But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
they're only resting for a couple minutes. But I mean, they've been doing this shit all year. I mean, Tibbs has played them like this all year, so they're kind of used to it by now, honestly. People are worried about them getting tired, but I don't think that'll be an issue. I think they'll still play hard, and I think they'll still do what they do, and I think they'll be fine. And then they'll meet the Celtics in the Eastern Conference.
I'm looking forward to that either. If I think that series can go either way, but I think y'all have a shot at beating them. But for this series against the Pacers, I like y'all winning this game in 5 games. Last night was a good game, and a lot of people will say the controversy call at the end cost of the Pacers. I don't think so. I just think that y'all wanted it more towards the end, so that was a good game. But I like y'all winning this game, winning the series in 5. But Rob, I'm proud of Jalen Brunson because that man, that's
Oh
everything
yeah,
you want in a superstar.
I didn't even get
That
into that.
yeah, that man has 4 straight 40 point performances with 5 assists. I think that's an NBA record right now.
No
And
one's done that before.
yeah, so that's you're talking about some all-time greats like LeBron or Michael Jordan's never done that before, and Jalen Brunson to be the only guy that's a special category that maybe we might not see that in the postseason for a long time. But I think the key factor for this series between the Knicks and Pacers, I think, is going to be Jalen Brunson going head to head against Tyrese Halliburton. And we all know, the world knows, they're going to trust Jalen Brunson more, even though as talented as Tyrese Halliburton is. But I think as it goes on, I feel like you guys are going to be the better defensive team. I think you guys are going to slow down the Pacers' offense as the series goes on. I know they were hot last night, but I just feel like this Pacers team doesn't have what it takes to beat you guys because they played a shorthanded Bucks team in the first round. That with Lillard and Giannis hurt, I just feel like the only shot that the Pacers have, if they were to win the series, was lean on their bench. Like you said, they have a lot of depth. I think their bench scored over 40 points for them last night.
Yeah,
So
and they did. They had a great, and our bench only scored like what 3, like 3 points. Like it's so like, I mean, Mitchell Robinson don't be scoring like that. And Miles McBride hasn't been really shooting as much as he was in the first few games of the series in Philly. So
yeah,
um, I think he'll be a key too. I mean, he's one of our only like good pieces left on the bench. So And I haven't. I mean, Precious Achua is decent. You know, though he's played well when he's played. They haven't really been playing him like that much, but he'll probably play a lot more since Mitchell Robinson's hurt. He'll probably fill in at center. Um,
Mm.
and like the rest of the people on the bench, they just don't use at all. Like Alec Burks just like disappeared. He's just like
I
gone forever.
forgot y'all had him for a second.
We don't use him because every time he gets the ball, like or every time he gets in and gets the ball, he just takes like contested shots. He's like kind of not very efficient. So he's playing like like he did basically when we had him before. And I thought he had changed because he was doing well in the Pistons, but obviously those points were probably empty points that he was scoring. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I think that OG trade that y'all did. At first, I laughed about. I remember I literally laughed about that because then R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel quickly Toronto for it. But OG has helped you guys out tremendously, especially defensively. I think that's going to be a key reason why you guys go on a deep run this year, for sure. Even if you guys get past the Celtics, I think he's going to be the main reason defensively why you guys go so far this year.
He's a dog. They better pay him. They better
Is he
pay
a free agent?
after this year.
Dang.
I mean, he pretty much committed to the Knicks. Like I've seen shit where he's like pretty much said he would take a discount to play for us.
Yeah.
So
Uh, so we're gonna move on to the Western Conference now. In the West, you have the number one seeded Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the fifth seeded Dallas Mavericks. This is gonna be a spicy series. Who you got, Rob?
um, damn, I got the Thunder at 7. That's gonna be such a good series. I just think the Thunder are more of a deeper team, and I think like the Mavs could get out to like a 2-0 lead or something like that, because they have experience on their roster and they have Luka, obviously, who's an MVP candidate. But so do the Thunder. They have SGA. So I think, it's going to be a very good series. I think it's going to be hard fought, real close games every game. Um, you might have one blowout on each side. Who knows? But overall, it's going to be a close series, I think. It could go either way. It's going to be fun to watch, but I'm going to say the Thunder in 7 just because they're a deeper team. I feel like as the series goes on, that youth is going to help them, sustain the energy and the high energy that they have when they're playing. The key to that is going to be their second chance points, like rebounding. They're not very good at rebounding. They're pretty small. They're smaller, a little bit on the smaller side in terms of size. So, that's going to be a factor. But if they can get that like at least pretty well, then I think that they're going to take it in 7.
Yeah, I'm. This is back and forth to me, but I like this series going to 7. I'm gonna lean towards the Mavericks winning this series. I think it's gonna be a tough series. Like you said, you have Luka, MVP candidate, going head to head against SGA. But I just lean towards the Mavericks because they got that experience. You're gonna need that in a series like this because Luka has been to Western Conference Finals. When Kyrie Irving wants to act disciplined and act right, he has the championship experience for the playoffs. So I think that lethal 1-2 punch offensively is just gonna be just enough to get past OKC. But it's gonna be a series that definitely goes to 7.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Mavericks were just more tested in the first round. They played the Clippers, even though Kawhi was in and out of the series. Compared to what OKC played the Pelicans, the Pelicans aren't really a good team. If Zion's not there, they're not the same team. So I think the Mavericks are the more proven team that can play on both sides of the court right now. They really play great defense since the All-Star break. So I like their chances matching up against OKC. I just trust them more to get to the Western Conference Finals. But definitely, I feel like that series is going to go to 7 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like that. I honestly would like to see something different, like OKC get there. It would be something different, and I feel like they could attract a big star to come there this summer if they can show they can get to the Western Conference already. So that's going to be something interesting to watch for sure. The last matchup in the West, You have the reigning champs, the Nuggets, taking on the third seeded Timberwolves. Rob, who do you have winning this series?
Well, before the series, I would have probably easily said the Nuggets in like 6 games. But now that I saw what happened to them yesterday, I think that they're in principal office trouble. Like it was one game, or the second game, and they're down 2-0. They had a chance to at least win one at home, and they're going back to Minnesota, and they're down 2-0. Now that's a tall task considering how hot this team is right now, and they're relentless. I think they have the best defense in the league, and they were playing without Rudy. So, I was saying this before the series. I'm pretty sure I was saying they were a sleeper team because of their defense. I did not see them getting this far. It was something interesting to look out for beforehand. But now, like, Anthony Edwards is just blossoming into a star, like a superstar. Like, we already knew he was very good and had what it takes. But I think like he's establishing himself really like very well with this playoff run that they've had. Carl Anthony Towns had a great game last night, as well as the other pieces like Jaden McDaniels and them playing really good defense. Um, you know, I think they're just built. I think they're just more hungry this year. I feel like the Nuggets are kind of dysfunctional right now. They're not playing like they can, getting frustrated. Being lackadaisical, like they just don't have the energy that the Timberwolves have right now. So I think they're gonna bow out. I think the Timberwolves are gonna, take a commanding 4-1 gentleman's sweep against the Nuggets, the reigning champs.
Damn.
Yeah.
Before I go, Meech, you already know what's up when Jimmy Butler there. Come on now. It just happens, man. It's always another year. But yeah, Rob, I agree. I for sure think at first I had the Nuggets winning this series. But now things have changed really fast. And now I think that the Timberwolves are going to win this series. They're already up 2-0. Like you said, the Nuggets are in principal's office trouble. Like, defense wins championships, and that's exactly the key ingredient to what the Timberwolves can use if they go on a deep playoff run this year, because they can win it all if they continue to play defense like this. And I think right now, defensively, or actually overall as a team, I think they're all in the Nuggets' heads, especially what I saw game 2 last night. And Jamal Murray might be suspended for game 3. I don't know if you watched the game last night,
I
but
did.
he threw that heat towel on the court. That was the dumbest thing he could have ever did, because now you're going into game 3 with the Timberwolves up 2-0, and the next 2 games are in Minnesota. So that is not a good look. I just feel like the way how they contain Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, to both of them only making a combined 10 shots from the field last night, that's not good. And Aaron Gordon was supposed to be that rock to lean on in this series, matching up against Karl Anthony Towns. He really hasn't been productive this series on both sides of the court. So I think with this series heading into Minnesota in the next 2 games, they could run away with this series. At least if they get one in game 3 or game 4, they're definitely going to win the series. But if the Nuggets can somehow, some way pull themselves out of this and win 2 games after this, we got a series. But
Yeah.
I agree. I think that the Timberwolves have them right where they want them.
Yeah. I mean, I could see the Nuggets skating by in like game 4 or something like that. I don't think I think they're just down for the count this year. I don't think this is their year anymore.
Now, I know Curtis has to be kicking the air, punching the wall, because this is what the Lakers are supposed to do to the Nuggets. Now you're seeing somebody else do it to them.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. Should the Los Angeles Clippers rebuild this summer? Do you think they should blow it up or continue to chase a championship?
Mm, I mean, they're consistently in the top 4, but they always get bounced in the first or second round. I mean, they have nothing to really show for it every year in and year out. They're still living in the Lakers' shadow, I think, even though they were the better team this year. Overall, they're just not there. I mean, I don't know what else they could do. Everyone's getting old. I think with a new stadium, that they're going into, they should just start over. Get another superstar that's a little younger. I mean, I think they should trade Paul George. Um, because he's getting up there and he probably wants to play for a legit contender. You'd
Mm.
think that a number 3 or 4 seed, whatever the Clippers were this year. Um, what seed were the Clippers? Were they 3, 4, or
They
5?
were the fourth seed this year.
Yeah, I mean, you think a fourth seed would have a shot at like doing something. I mean, they feel like that's where they hover all the time, anywhere from 4 to 6, and they're just not getting it done. I mean, I don't know. I also think James Harden is just like not great in the playoffs either. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think I think they should blow it up. They might as well. I mean, get some assets, get a new superstar in there, maybe a couple other good players. You could be pretty good, and then just keep building off of that. I mean, it doesn't have to all turn around overnight. You could start over, start fresh, get some assets, get a good player or two, and then just like develop some younger players. Because I just don't see it with what they got right now. Even if they added like another player, I don't know. I just don't think that team as a whole can do it. I mean, I don't know. I think they should start over.
Yeah, I agree, Rob. I think it's time for the Clippers to rebuild. I think this group has reached their course together because age is catching up to all those cats on this team, all those superstars there. And it's sad because they gave up so much to get Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on the same team in the summer of 2019. And it just hasn't worked out because health is always a problem for the playoffs. The last time Paul George and Kawhi Leonard were healthy together in the playoffs was their first year together in the playoffs, which was in 2020 in the bubble. But both Paul George and James Harden are supposed to be unrestricted free agents this summer. That's not good. They're definitely bound to lose one of them, and I think Paul George is leaning towards not going there. Not staying there. But I think injury just held this team back from their true potential over the years. Too many wasted years, too many years of Kawhi not being around and Paul George there, or vice versa. It's just too much to keep this team together, I think. And age is definitely catching up. And they even used the formula of sitting Kawhi Leonard for most of the season to use him in the playoffs, and that don't even work because he ends up getting hurt again. But I think Ty Lue might leave the Clippers because I feel like if LeBron stays in LA, he's linked to the coach the Lakers next season. That would be bold for him to stay in town and coach the rival team. But I could definitely see it if LeBron stays with the Lakers and Ty Lue goes to coach LeBron again in LA. So I just feel like it's time for them to wrap this up. And Kawhi is there. He's under contract for a while, but what can Kawhi really do right now? Because he's always as talented as a player as he is, he's just always hurt all the time.
Yeah, it don't matter how good he is if he's not on the court.
But now I'm thinking about it. I think if Paul George tests the free agent market and he does not re-sign with the Clippers, you know what is the best team for him to go to this summer? Now I think about it.
Who?
I think he should leave the West, go to the East, play with the 76ers. I think that would be a good fit for them. I mean, if they don't have it, he'd be unrestricted, but that's a good big three because I would view him as a third option behind Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid and with the 76ers. I think that could work. I mean, the only thing that they're really missing is a small forward, really. I think he could fit well in Philadelphia, possibly help Joel Embiid finally chase a championship because, Tyrese Maxey is a proven guy. He deserves to stay in Philadelphia. He stepped up this year. Joel Embiid he's a good player, but he's just like a Dak Prescott or Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. The man can never finish or get to the next level. So I just feel like Paul George would be a great fit for him, a great fit for the 76ers this summer, for sure.
I think. I mean, it is a good fit. They would probably have to do something with Tobias Harris because he needs to
Oh
go.
yeah, that's why. Yeah,
He's
he's got to
making
go. Yeah,
like $40 million. What is
yeah, he's got. I meant to say that he's just eating
dude?
up cap and doing cardio games. I think he scored like
He
how many
scored,
points did he score against you all?
bro, in the last game in the elimination game. I'm pretty sure he had 0 points.
Yeah, you got to go.
I'm pretty sure he had 0 points, and he shot like 0 for 5 or something like that. He did not he was not a factor at all in that series. I mean, if you're making, bro, you know what's crazy? He makes as much money as Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and Dante DiVincenzo combined. They make like roughly the same. It's like 40 million.
And that's so bad because now the Jimmy Butler quote Tobias Harris over me, that has to be one of the dumbest things that the 76ers ever did.
Yeah, that was dumb as shit. I mean, Tobias Harris is like, he is not good. I think he's so overrated. He is not good at all. I think he's trash, to be honest. Oh,
We're gonna move on to the next segment. Which players do you believe, Rob, are the Mount Rushmore, small forward Mount Rushmores in NBA history? Which forwards, small forwards, do you think deserve to be on the Rushmore list?
damn, man, that's tough. I mean, two obvious picks are LeBron, obviously, and Larry Bird. Uh, you know, Larry Bird in his time was just such a dog, and I think today he would be almost like he would be basically a Luka in today's NBA. They have like, I don't know. I see a lot of similarities. I do think Larry Bird had better defense than Luka.
Oh,
He passed.
yeah.
He had handles. He shot the ball really well. He probably had more threes in the modern game. Um, than he did back in the 80s because that's just not what they did back then. But, he had playmaking, underrated playmaking, definitely Larry is number two. Mm, oh, man, this is tough. I have to think about this for a second. Hmm. Probably, I mean, I would put KD up there. I mean, I know, you know, he's kind of been a snake, and he's been just ring chasing. And the last two teams he's been on, he's practically destroyed them because the assets that they gave up to do what? They didn't do shit. The Nets and the Suns both did not do anything with him, and he's like 30. He's getting up there. He's probably going to leave there and go somewhere else and just leave it in his ruin. And now the Suns have nothing, just like the Nets did, and now the Nets suck. So I feel like that's the same path that the Phoenix Suns are going on. But I
Sure.
mean, before that, man, like, I mean, he did win with the Warriors. Obviously, that's like you know, I don't know, man. And he's questionable. I'm gonna throw him up there, but you could put other people up there, and it would be just as good. Just because he didn't have the success in the finals. Besides that, that one run with the Warriors, and that team was unstoppable. Like, we all knew that they were gonna win that year.
Mm-hmm.
So like, but he's just like, to be 7 feet tall and have the handles and shot that he has and the shot creation that he has. His defense is underrated. I mean, he's not an elite defender, but he can definitely hold his own. I think he's up there. Uh, uh, the last one's hard, man. The last one's hard. Hmm. It's between Dr. J and Scottie Pippen for me. I
Mm.
mean, Scottie, because he had the championship success, but obviously he played with, arguably the best player of all time. And,
Yeah.
Dr. J, he was just crazy. Like, he had elite defense. he didn't have a 3-point shot like that. He could shoot a little bit, but everything else, the slashing, the highlight dunks, and just the impact he had. He did get one ring, so it's a toss up. I'm just gonna say Scotty just because of his championship pedigree. I'll throw him up there, but that fourth spot is so hard. There's like four different people you can put up there, and it would work like it would work with all of them. So I guess LeBron, Larry, KD, and Scotty.
Yeah, that's actually the same four that I had, Rob. For
Really?
yeah, I got LeBron, KD, Larry Bird, and Scottie Pippen. I feel like those are the four best small forwards of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do agree with you because there is a lot of small forwards that could go in that fourth slot. But I just feel like those four were the best of all time at that position because LeBron will always be remembered for being an all-time leading scorer, arguably the greatest of all time, and has the scoring and ball handling abilities that you'll never see at the small forward position, maybe ever again. Kevin Durant is one of the greatest scorers of all time. Larry Bird was a clutch performer, always wanted the ball in his hands when it mattered most with the game on the line. Scottie Pippen, I threw him in there because he was one of the greatest two-way players in the game. Yeah, he played with Michael Jordan and got 6 rings with him, but I feel like if Michael Jordan didn't have Scottie as a tag team partner back then, if they weren't one of the best duos in NBA history, the best duo in NBA history, I feel like two separate three-peats wouldn't have happened for Chicago back in the day
Mm-hmm.
because Michael Jordan couldn't get past several teams, the Celtics and the Pistons back in the day, before Scottie Pippen got there. So he contributed a lot. But I just feel like those four were the best small forwards of all time. I think an honorable mention though, if he was more healthy all the time, I feel like Kawhi Leonard could sneak into this conversation for sure
Yeah.
because the man when he was healthy and he was like that, the man was a tremendous two-way player. And even though he was loaded up on that Spurs team that had Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker, he helped them get their final ring together in San Antonio. Because I remember LeBron was nearly having nightmares playing against them in the 2014 finals. The way how Kawhi was coming in his own player, and then him having that dynamic playoff run, basically, I won't say single-handedly, but there really wasn't no other stars with them in Toronto in 2019. So
I love
he's
that year.
definitely somebody to throw in there.
That was awesome. I mean, it was cool to see the underdogs take it all. Like, the Warriors were there. Just that whole like 5-6 year time period, the Warriors were a dynasty. I mean, that was just like all throughout high school. That was the team that was there every year, and it got old after
Yeah,
a while. I'm not gonna lie.
and Kawhi
It got
ended it.
old seeing them, and then LeBron in the playoffs or in the finals or whatever, like a couple years in a row, like Cavs and Warriors, Cavs and Warriors. But
It was four
um,
years in a row.
yeah, like that shit was crazy. I mean, we at this point we were like, we know it's gonna be the Cavs and Warriors. All the other teams don't even matter. But it was cool seeing the Raptors finally, meet one of the mainstays in there and knock them out. They were definitely heavy underdogs. I mean, I'm pretty sure Clay got hurt in that series, right? That was a series that Clay got hurt or something like
Yeah, he
that.
got hurt in the final game 6. He tore his Achilles, but then made 2 free throws at the free throw line like Kobe did when he tore his Achilles. It was Kevin Durant that was hurt for the series, and
Oh,
when he came back in a win or go home situation, he blew his Achilles on the court.
damn. Yeah. That was just
Let him rest.
unfortunate.
I don't even know why they did that. I understand trying to get a chip, but they should have just let it go. Man was not even around the whole series. Then you throw him out there in a winner go home situation. Then his Achilles is blown up.
Wait, so both of them tore their Achilles in the last game?
Yeah. Well, I think. Hold on. Let's go back. Game 5. They won Game 5 because that was. Yeah, it was Game 5 where Kevin Durant. They won Game 5, but Kevin Durant was there. He tore his Achilles because I remember they were in Toronto and Drake was on the sidelines acting like he wanted to cry, but low key he was happy because the Raptors were that much closer to win shit. And I think Game 6, they won in Toronto. Yeah, there was two separate games, like back-to-back games.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that. I knew Clay got hurt, but I forgot that KD got hurt. I mean, shit. But either way, I mean, it's still awesome to see that the Raptors did that year. I think you're right. I mean, Kawhi's health is the only thing. I mean, he he just was. He's always been made of glass. I don't know what's good with that guy. I don't know what's good with him, but
Yeah,
couldn't do it, man. He just even like you said, even resting him like all year, like that shit is not normal. Like you should not have to do that to it. And a person that literally gets paid to play basketball, I don't really believe in the resting bullshit. I mean, I understand like sometimes you have to do it, but like it really shouldn't be like a whole load management schedule where you take games off
no,
in the regular season. I think that's stupid because what if you're a kid that, you know, what if your family doesn't have a lot of money and you finally get enough money to go to a game and your favorite player is sitting on the bench because he's taking a load management day? Like that shit is so stupid to me. I mean, you're getting paid millions of dollars to play basketball. Like just do your damn job. Like that I am a strong disbeliever of that. I mean, I understand, I guess, you got to stay healthy for the playoffs, but like, half the time they don't even get there because of that, or they're in a worse off position than they would have been if they just played the damn game. Um, you know, that's why I've kind of lost my. I mean, I understand, I guess, but like, I lose respect for players like that. I just think you should play. If unless you physically can't play, I think you should play. I don't care if you're 80%. I think you should play.
yeah.
Yeah, fuck that.
I think a minute restriction is better than anything. I mean, at least you're still out there trying.
Yeah,
Or you just
at least you're playing in the game. At least you make an appearance and make an impact on the game. Like people who straight up just taking multiple games off completely for no reason.
oh, here
Just
comes Fred.
because.
He's awoken from nap time.
We about to be done, sir. We on the last topic almost.
Yo, where was you at, yo?
Hey yo. Oh look, yeah, my room done.
Man, you
Guest
woke up right
appearance.
for the last segment, man. You was on nap time.
Nah, I don't even know what you're talking about, brother. I don't even know what
Whoa.
you're talking about,
We
brother.
was in the mix of talking about load management, but I
Yeah,
guess we get your quick take real quick before we move on to the last
yeah,
segment. Uh,
I heard Rob talking about it. I mean, I agree completely. I think load management is absolutely terrible. I mean, if you're hurt, you're hurt. You
Yeah.
can't really play. I mean, if you're nursing your injury and you want to take a couple more games to like really get back into the to the ring of things, I agree with I can see that. But if you just take a day off because you just feel like it, I mean, brother, you get paid millions of dollars to play a kids game.
yeah, this is true.
You can suit up, brother. You can suit up.
I think that hurts the regular season a lot too because I mean, obviously, you're gonna as a basketball fan, you want to watch as much basketball as you can. But like, if I'm tuning into a regular season game and I see like a big time matchup of like maybe like a big man, like for example, let's say Nuggets
Joel
versus
Embiid and
76ers.
Jokic.
Yep, and that actually, I use that as an example, but I swear to you, somebody always bluffs out of that
Oh
matchup,
yeah,
whether it's Jokic or Embiid. Somebody's like, "Oh,
it's
I'm not
mostly
gonna play
Embiid
tonight."
too. Embiid was ducking.
One of them always do
It's
that.
crazy because I feel like the last time Embiid played Jokic, he gave him like 50 or like 45.
He did, yeah.
That man
So it's like
just throws his arms up and just,
that. That
playing
is,
the whole time. Like
uh,
he after this series we just played him, like I hate that man with a passion. Like
yeah.
He's
he's
He is. He definitely is. He be looking for him badly.
he tried to hurt several players. Like I don't know. I just don't like him at all.
Mans is the big James Harden trying to get to the free throw line 24/7.
He is. I mean, he is. He
He
is.
just
And
he
like
just falls over. He just falls over everybody.
right, and
Just
that's
like steps on
he
people.
has hurt people like doing that, just falling over and just
Kurt
like
is
throwing his
crazy.
body at people's legs.
Danny Green.
His own teammate. He blew his knee out. He ended his career. He's done. He hasn't played since.
Yo,
Just because he want to fall over
That's not
everyone.
funny. That's not funny, but oh my goodness.
It's terrible. It's
I
it's
got
it's so terrible, bro. That man
It's so
literally ended
bad.
his career. That man had, I understand he was kind of old, but like that's the whole point. Like he had a couple years left probably to do something, but he went ahead and ruined it just because he wanted to fall over everyone and anything. His big
Oh
ass just
my
freaking
goodness.
stepping on people and hurting people for no reason. Mm. I don't like. I like. I haven't had a dislike for him, but now like I really do. Like I really hate him. I really
You know what the worst thing is? That, and I love Shea, but Shea's going to be. He's becoming that player as well.
who's that?
really.
Shea Gilgis Alexander.
Oh,
He's becoming that type of like, you touch me, I'm just gonna fall over type of player.
Curtis crazy, yo.
Curtis, ain't you supposed to be on here too?
Right.
He said he was busy.
Yeah, busy.
Busy, you commenting.
Right, he busy, but he in the comments. He must not be that busy,
Nah, he must be posted up in goals.
right?
But yeah, Fred, I seen your thing on. I said, oh, here he come. At least he came on, woke up from his
Hey,
nap.
hey, brother, I wasn't napping. I had prior arrangements with Dreamtown.
Dreamtown.
But we'll go ahead and move on to the final segment. We'll be sharing our most underrated players in NBA history. So, which following players do you all think are the most underrated in NBA history?
I don't know. What do you think, Fred? You go first.
This is a random one, and I've actually been watching his podcast a little heavy lately. Shout out to his podcast, but Jeff Teague was a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Jeff, he
Mm-hmm.
used to be so
yeah.
fast. You know another one, Ish Smith.
Mm.
He's not. All right, I'm not gonna say he's like all that, but like his crossover used to be absolutely disgusting, and I feel like he was kind of just slept on, but he was kind of a dog. It's just that I mean he's an NBA player. All these guys are dogs, and the reason that they're not the best or like they're not superstars, like the roles they got put in or the team that they went on. I mean,
Mm,
obviously some guys just don't got it like that, but most of the time the guys who don't shine is because their coach doesn't need them to, or they have a guy that already is supposed to be doing that, so they don't really get put into that position to take, you know, 25 shots a game. So it's the NBA. There's dogs everywhere. You just don't get that type of shine. But I mean, I think that
No.
dude that team was so good, especially when he was at Wake Forest. Absolute dog,
Mm.
absolute dog, scoring phenom, killing boys over there.
yeah.
Dude, I think. No, I mean, I know Clyde was a really good player, obviously, but I feel like not enough people talk about him. I
Clyde.
think Clyde Drexler.
Oh,
Clyde Drexler was an absolute dog. Chauncey Billups was really.
yeah.
Chauncey Billups was nasty.
Um, Kevin McHale was nasty as shit.
Yeah,
No,
I know the reason people don't talk about him is because it was back in the '60s, '70s.
I mean, he played with Larry Bird, didn't he?
Yeah, that was like the later career. That was still in the
Yeah,
'80s.
yeah, that's true. I mean,
But
I think your boy Chris Bosh, Tom. I mean, he did a lot more than
Yeah.
people give credit for.
yeah,
I think.
I mean, yeah, but in the Raptors, he was disgusting.
Oh yeah, Stoudemire before he got hurt a bunch of times
Mark Stoudemire was going crazy.
on Phoenix. He was really good.
Yeah, that's the same thing happened with Chris Bosh though. I mean, those blood clots killed his career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Manu Ginobili.
I mean,
Yeah.
Mano's a Hall of Famer.
I know, but like he was overlooked often because of Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean he was like constantly like the second to third best shooting guard in the league in his time. I don't know if overrated. He was a dog.
yeah, like I don't know. I thought he was a lot better than people gave him credit for. I don't know.
Yeah.
Curtis.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was watching what the Dream Team no, the Dean Team documentary, and like D Wade got pissed off because they were saying that he was the second best shooting guard in the league. It was like, nah. But I mean, Manu was a dog. He was nasty.
Yeah.
Jeremy Lin, get out of here.
Hey,
Nah,
hey, for if the Lynn story went on longer, yeah, but it was kind of short
It
lived.
was it was like 2 weeks.
Hey, at the end of it all, he got a chip with the Raptors, but he didn't contribute to. But he did get a chip in
He
2019.
ain't do nothing. He sat
the
there,
ring is there. The ring
collected
is
dust.
there.
I do think that was one of the best underdog stories of all time, though, for sure. Injuries fucked him over.
If you get a ring like that, do you like brag about that? The fuck, I got a ring though.
If I
Yeah,
go coach at high school or something, look, this is
Yeah,
what you could
I
work
mean
for. But
that's how Steve Nash got his ring.
oh yeah, with y'all in the front office,
Yeah,
that man never
yeah.
coached again once he got fired by the Nets, did he?
I don't think so.
Damn,
Yeah,
they just basically cut him off
yeah.
the map after that. I got a couple ones. Rob said one of mine, Manu Ginobili. I definitely have to say he's underrated because I feel like he's the greatest six man of all time coming off the bench. He didn't even have to come off the bench for being a Hall of Fame player. He just did it because he was always a team first player, and he did it for years and years without complaining. Without him, he was like the glue to that puzzle, with the Spurs being one of the best dynasties of all time. Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Greg Popovich, they won 4 titles together. It's just somebody that never changed their role or cared how many touches he ever got, never really cared about the personal accolades of all-star, how many all-star appearances he ever had or things like that. He just wanted to win games and win titles. So I feel like he definitely deserves to be on the underrated list. Another player, I got Rajon Rondo as an underrated player for sure.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a
because
really good one.
the
hmm
man, how he played the point guard position. I don't know if you're gonna see a lot of cats play. Like I remember, it used to. I didn't when I first watched a game of basketball. I really didn't understand how you play the point guard position. But the man would literally run all the way to the hoop and then just pass the ball off to get an assist or get his team in the game or in the game for offensive flow. The way how he played, like getting assists, he was pretty decent on the defensive side of the ball too.
He
With
was he was actually pretty good on the defensive side.
yeah,
He used to
yeah,
trap people up.
Rondo is definitely somebody I feel like unfortunately over the years people are gonna forget about, but since we grew up on like watching like the early 2000s up to this point, I definitely think he's gonna go down as an underrated player for
Hmm.
sure. Um, I gotta say, I don't really want to throw him in there, but I kind of do. I'll slide Scottie Pippen in there, just because he didn't. He's like Manu Ginobili. He helped win titles, but he doesn't really have the personal accolades like multiple All Star appearances. But I just felt like he goes down as a great two-way player, one of the greatest two-way players in history. And he wasn't the most talented player playing alongside Michael Jordan or Dennis Rodman, but like I was telling Rob earlier in the episode, without him being there, he definitely would never. MJ would definitely would never had 6 rings or
Oh yeah,
back to backs like that.
He got
definitely.
eight. He got 8 all defensive first teams in a row.
And
He
no
did.
DPOYs.
All
I didn't
defensive
even know he got eight.
first team 8 times in a row.
Damn.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he definitely one of the greatest two-way players. Then
yeah.
we might have to do that on an episode one day. Greatest two-way players of all time. Um, last player I'll have to say I'll slide him in there too. Jason Kidd. I'm barely sliding him in there. I'm barely sliding him in
I
there.
think Jason Kidd's a little overrated.
You think he's overrated?
I do think he's a little overrated. People love Jason Kidd.
He wasn't
Jason Kidd.
that bad though.
I'm not he was great. He was a great point guard. He could swing that rock. I'm not gonna lie to you. But like offensively scoring the ball, it wasn't there. It wasn't there.
Yeah, I will say that about Jason Kidd.
Right.
I will say that part.
But he could. I mean, but the thing is though, he can still kill a game with just his passing. Though that's the thing. Like he could wreck your game with just his passing. So he's an amazing point guard. But I feel like people put him pretty highly on the point guard list, and I don't feel him to be that high.
He
Well,
was
He's up
he
there though.
did
He's up there, but like,
passing was definitely he's like Rondo.
yeah,
Passing is your best asset to your game.
yeah, yeah.
I
'Cause
got
I've seen
a
some people put
couple.
him in like top 5 point guards, and
Uh,
he ain't that high.
Top five.
He ain't
no,
that
No, I
no,
can't say
Honestly,
top five.
I wouldn't even say like top 10.
no.
No, not.
He might be like top 15.
If
You
that,
might, you might then start to. I could see him hopping in there.
he might be like 15. No, but I just thought of two more, and they were both on the same team. Can you guess?
You said both on the
They
same
were
team.
both on the same team. They played in the 90s. Who am I talking about?
Oh.
They were in the East.
Mm.
What position?
Backcourt.
Back
Both of them.
court, both back court.
Shared the backcourt when they played.
Was I'm trying to think. Okay. Don't say it's who I think it is. No. Was it somebody on the Knicks?
Actually, 3 players on this team.
Oh shit.
3. I mean, I guess one of them is, I don't know. It depends who you ask. They might be rated how he normally is by certain people, but I'll just say it. Isaiah Thomas,
I knew it. I
Joe
knew
Dumars, and Ben Wallace. That was a squad.
That was a
Ben Wallace
And
squad.
definitely underrated as hell.
they had a
Them
squad.
was some punching boys over
They
there.
had a freaking squad, bro. They were badass. Like they had 2 rings, you know. Best defense that Joe Dumars was the best defender that Jordan has ever faced. That's what Jordan said. I just read that.
I
Joe,
believe.
you sit down. You sit
Yeah,
down.
he was really good. I mean, Isaiah Thomas. I feel like if you know basketball, you know he's like a top guard ever. Top 10 guard, I'd say,
Top 5.
somewhere in there. Probably top 5, honestly.
Top 5.
But
That's my man. You got to respect my man Zeus, man.
no, he was tough. He was so tough. Didn't that team have Bill Laimbeer too?
Yeah,
He was kind of tough too.
yeah.
That whole
It's a bunch
that
of
whole team was nice.
big, strong, mean players.
That whole team was nice, bro.
That team was there to take your lunch money every day.
That team was
Money
Get
was-
physical
shit.
with you.
You know,
Shake your pockets.
Ben Wallace was undrafted.
Yeah, I think I was gonna say that as soon as you said it. I think that's the greatest undrafted player in NBA history, Ben Wallace.
Yeah, that has to be like one of the best ever to not go drafted. I can't think of anybody that was better.
That was a good 3. I was gonna say that, but when you said all on the same team, I was like, but that was a good one. Those 3 definitely. Yo, speaking of Isaiah Thomas, did him and Michael Jordan like ever fix their beef, or did they still?
Probably not.
They still beef to this day.
Petty goat.
Probably
They really
not.
beef to this day.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, he was still talking shit about him in the Jordan documentary.
Oh, the doc. Yeah, I did
Bro,
see
It was like,
Bro, you know who came at? Another dog came after Isaiah Thomas retired. Grant Hill.
Oh yeah.
Grant Hill was a dog too.
Yeah, those injuries destroyed his career.
Yeah. And what's his name that was on the Wizards? What was his damn name? Why can't I think
Gilbert
of it?
Arenas.
Dude, he was so nice. He was so
He he
tough.
was so nice. His
He
takes
was so
now are
tough.
so terrible, but that man was nice.
Some of his
Then his
things do be
career
off.
didn't his career slow down with the Wizards because I understand he started slowing down as a player, but didn't he get in trouble off the court with guns or something like that?
He brought a gun to the locker room.
What an idiot!
Yeah, that was
What?
that was dumb. That was dumb.
Yeah, it
That's
was just
that's
unfortunate for him, but he was
that's
such a
yeah.
dog when he was in his prime. He was so good.
Damn right.
He was so
He was giving boys. He
he
was
could have
giving
had
boys 30.
he would have had a chance to be like one of the best of
Yep.
all time if he
Yep.
kept that pace. He was so
Yep.
good. But
Yo,
you never know.
him and John Wall,
Oh my god.
that would have been crazy in
John
DC. Then when
Wall
he
was a
kept it
dog
up and
when he
Bradley
was
Beal came,
yeah, that would have been a squad, to be honest.
that would have
He
went
was
crazy in
squad.
DC.
I don't know how would that even work though? Because
Bradley
they're
Beal
all
would get cooked though, because he would not be able to guard anyone.
nah.
Yeah,
Probably play the three, and he would
Yeah.
and he
not
would get
guard anyone. He would get cooked.
back then. Yeah, at the three, LeBron would have been a murder case. Y'all thought he did Jason Terry wrong on the
KD,
court.
Paul George, oh, killing them.
Yeah,
All them big boys are kill. All them two-way
Paul
forwards
Pierce.
would make bunch money.
Oh
That
yeah.
Yeah, even Paul Pierce would have cooked his ass.
yeah, that actually would have actually.
His
Let's just
defense.
scratch Bradley Beal. John Wall and Gilbert Arenas would have did their thing together though.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
I wonder how that would
That
have
actually would have been
worked
fun.
though, because they both want the ball in their hand a lot.
They did. They did. That
But I
is true.
mean, it'd have been a vet Gilbert Arenas with a rookie John Wall. So I don't think John Wall would have been able to pick the ball out of his hand like that. He'd have had to play off the ball.
Yeah.
But then again, John Wall is more of a passer than Gilbert is. Like obviously, John Wall can score. He's like a speed demon passer.
That man was so
That's true.
damn fast.
He was stupid fast, like unnaturally fast.
Mm-mm.
Him in Kentucky was, whew.
Oh, he was his high school like highlight tape and his college highlights are crazy.
Yeah,
He was so good.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, oh man, I was sleepy.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up. But that is all the time we have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Tom Cyree, Rob Sarasulo, and Fred Harris, who did join us after his nice nap in
Hey,
Cloud Town.
Brian, yeah, you gotta put me on blast like that. That's crazy.
But we appreciate you coming on, though, Fred.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's us three signing off. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and we'll see you guys on next week's episode.
Peace.
See ya.